What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we are creating the Charlotte 49ers. Now, this is one of the hardest ones to create, just in terms of accuracy, but I am happy with the finished product, and I hope you are too. So let's get right into it. We start off with the primary color of green. I went to the far right green and edited that one. And the RGB is 4, 106, and 56. Then you go to the secondary color, and you can put white here if you wanted to for the secondary color. I wanted to do the gold because you're going to see a whole lot of gold later on in the uniforms. Plus, I like the accent of the logo. But for secondary color, we went with gold, went to the far right brown and edited that one. And I went with 185, 151, and 91 on the RGB. So now let's talk about the logo. This was extremely challenging to mimic. There are technically two logos for them. One is the fancy 49ers with the pickaxe, and it's very complicated. It's very hard to create. But on their helmets, they got a basic C, but it's got like a pickaxe in the middle of it. Well, the closest one that I can create is just a basic C. You're not going to find a generic logo that's remotely close to what you're looking for, nor are you going to find a specific letter that gives you that C look. So I went with the basic C, and I'm okay with it. Now, nickname. They are the 49ers, but what's interesting is when you click on nickname, you cannot type in 49ERS. You can't put in the numbers for whatever reason. It just won't let you do it. So I spelled out 49ers, and school name is Charlotte. But when you go to the abbreviated name, you are allowed to put in numbers. So I went 49ERS, and as you see there, nothing is faded out. You can hit shift, and there are your numbers. So I went with that. That gave me the one chance to actually put 49ers in there somewhere. So at least that's what you'll see on the scoreboard all the time, in the top left when you play. City, of course, is Charlotte. State, North Carolina. And Charlotte, North Carolina is about right here, right at that tip. Playbook and team type, you can select whatever you want. That all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your dynasty if you choose to use this template for a dynasty. Rival school, this is another situation where you can kind of pick whatever you want within the conference. They're in the Conference USA, but they're still a brand new team, more or less, and they really don't have any locked on rivals. So I went with Marshall. I looked at a couple of their schedules, and they're in the same division as Marshall, Middle Tennessee State, Florida Atlantic, Florida International. You could pick any one of them. I'm sure somebody on here may be well-versed in all things Charlotte history, so there may be one that's more accurate, but I just went with Marshall. Fight song, I about given up on that. It's just very hard for me to find exactly what to look for, and there are a ton of songs in this game because it's all based off every single team that's already in it. So you got 160-plus teams. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's all Division 1. Okay, it's all Division 1, so there's 120-plus songs in here. If you have the ear for it and you know exactly how to get pretty close to that, by all means, you can throw that in the comment section. Somebody can use that. Mascot, this is another situation where you just can't mimic it anywhere close. I hope one day I'll be able to find a mascot that's kind of close to what we want to use for that particular school. But this is, again, another situation where I just couldn't find one that came close. So I went with none. Now let's talk about the stadium. They play in Richardson Stadium. I think it's Jerry Richardson Stadium. I'm sure he's some rich guy from somewhere. And their stadium type, I went with the dual size of 20,000. Their actual stadium is a little bitty horseshoe. We do have a horseshoe option in this game, but it's 68,000. So you got two choices. You can either do what's current in terms of the amount of fans in the stands. Right now, I think they only can hold 15,000. That's why I went with the 20,000, because it's the closest. Or you can think in future, long term, and say, hey, I'm going to turn Charlotte to a powerhouse, and I'm going to make my stadium even bigger. Then you can go with the bigger horseshoe in the game, and I think that has like 68,000. So it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to do the short term or the long term, I just went with short term. So orientation, this is another one. They are exactly, it's northwest and southeast. It's not exactly north or south or east or west. You have to pick one of them. You only got those two options. So I went north and south. And from what I can tell, their scoreboard, their one scoreboard and video screen was on one side of the field. It was the opposite of the horseshoe, which is in the south-ish end zone. So I put the scoreboard both in the south end zone, and the video screen is in the south as well. From what I could tell, they only had one press box. That looked to be on the west side. Field surface, I went with natural. You can go with grassy turf. That's usually the two big options that seems to be pretty modern. But for now, I went natural. I actually didn't research it too hard in terms of what field they have. My guess is probably artificial or grassy turf. You can go with that if you want to. Midfield, this is the only thing I didn't like is with their color, it just doesn't pop because it's a green color. It stands out a little bit on the field, as you'll see a little bit later. But I went with school logo at midfield, no 25-yard logo. End zone R. This one actually came out halfway decent, as you'll see later on. But they have black outline with the word Charlotte in the middle in green. And I was able to pull that off here with a school name and number 1, end zone background of black. No track around the field, and backdrop I went with campus. Even though, it's funny, I looked up I'm sure I've already showed a picture of it, but I went with an aerial view and see how close that stadium was to other things. They had other school buildings around it, but like right across the street was a food line. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I almost went with like a city look. Okay, now let's talk about the uniforms. Here is another situation where you got a new team with no history whatsoever, which means they're going to have a whole lot of color uniform combinations that you can do as you wish. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, we'll go to the very bottom here, and you can see the helmet for all 4 of these combos is white. I went with that just because the helmet logo just sticks out better. If I went with a green helmet, sometimes they've used a green helmet in the past, but your logo would not stand out whatsoever. That's why I went with white across the board. So let's start with our home uniform. And what I based this off of was just some image somebody drew up for Wikipedia. I'm sure I have it shown here. So let's just start off with the very top with the helmet. I went with the triple striping logo. Now, what's interesting with this triple stripe is they use the short stripe that's in this game, but it's in reverse. The tip is on the back of the helmet and not the other way around. The short stripe, if I can show you, hopefully it doesn't mess me up here. The short stripe with the logo comes out like that, but it's the exact opposite. So if we go back to triple stripe, I decided to go this route because at least the front of the helmet, it looks accurate. It just gets big in the front and it's just smaller in the back. So triple stripe logo, helmet color white, helmet stripe green, helmet stripe 2 is gold, and face mask color is white. No pride stickers. They haven't been around long enough to have any pride stickers. Jersey type, we're going with the triple shoulder. I was able to get pretty close with this. Jersey color of green, of course. Sleeve stripe is white for the first one, and the second one is gold. Shoulder sleeve is your sleeve logo. This is the first one we've done where they didn't have numbers on their shoulder pads. They went with, I think I don't have it in front of me, but I think the actual jerseys have like CHT on it. But I went with the basic C. It stands out a whole lot better when you look at the other uniforms. Style number, they have another modern font, so I went with style number 3. Style number name, I went with beige, or the gold look. Outline color, black, just for the rendering issues, and I think that's kind of what they use anyways. Chest logos, they always use, I think they're a Nike school. Of course, we don't have that option, so I just went with none. Player name on, of course. Pant style, we went triple stripe. It's the exact same combo as the one on the jersey. White on the outside and gold on the inside. So you got your pants color green, pant stripe 1 is gold, and pant stripe 2 is white. No hip logo. Now what's interesting, you may see an image right there where it actually shows a hip logo of like their helmet logo, which is the basic C, but it looks terrible in this game, and I didn't want to put it on there. It goes right across those stripes, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. So I went with none. Belt color, from what I could tell through all the images, it was always the same colors, whatever pants they wore that day. So that's what I went with here, was green. Sock style, short, and sock color and shoe color are all white. Now let's talk about your default away uniform. This is I call it the Stormtrooper look. I like it a whole lot. Comes out pretty well. So let's go back to the very top. This is the exact same helmet as the home version. Triple stripe logo, helmet color is white, stripe one is green, the second one is gold with a face mask color of white. No pride stickers, triple shoulder. This time you got green on the outside and gold on the inside, but you got your jersey color with white, green for the first stripe and gold for the second. There you got your sleeve logo. You can see it pops a whole lot better on that one. And, of course, style number stays the same. Number name, you go with gold, outline color black, chest logo none. Player name on, triple stripe. It's the exact same as the jersey. You got green on the outside, gold on the inside. So your pants colors are white with the white belt. And pant stripe is one is gold. The second one is green. No hip logo. And of course, there's your belt with white because we wanted to match with the pants. And the socks and shoes stay the same. I just kept it as short with white for both. Now let's talk about the alternate. This one I like a whole lot. This is your gold uniform. So your helmet, again, is exactly the same. Triple stripe logo. You see here, helmet color is white. Stripe is green. Of the second one, a gold. Face mask is white. No pride sticker. Triple shoulder. This time you got green on the outside, white on the inside, with the jersey color of gold. And your sleeve logo right there. Style number stays the same. Number is white. Outline color is black. Chest logo none. Player name is on, of course. Triple stripe, exactly like the one up top. Green on the outside, white on the inside. But you got gold pants with the first stripe is white and the second stripe is green. No hip logo, and your belt color matches the pants. And your socks and shoes stay the same with short with white for both. Now let's talk about the alternate away uniform. I like this one a whole lot. You see here, it's a little bit different. I changed up a couple things according to what I saw. The only difference here between this helmet and the rest is you have a face mask color of green. Sometimes they mix those up. In the picture that I found, they had a green face mask. Everything else stays the same. When you go down the jersey, it's still triple shoulder, green on the outside, gold on the inside for the stripes, with the jersey color white, and there's 1 and 2 for your stripes, green and gold. Sleeve logo, that pops really well. Style number stays the same. Number name, this time it's green. The default away uniform has the gold color numbers. This is green. Outline black, chest logo none, player name on. Triple stripe. This one, from what I could tell, and I could be wrong on this, I can change this on the fly really quick. For some reason, I think I still have this correct. Yeah, I have that correct. Kind of confused me there. This is the only time where it's not the same as what's on top. It's your white outside stripe with a gold on the inside. So your pants color is green. Pants stripe 1 is gold with the white stripe. For your second one, no hip logo. Belt color stays the same as the pants. And the socks and shoes stay the same throughout with short and white on both. And here we have our default home uniform. I think it came out really well. I like the gold numbers. That's just an interesting combination of the green and gold. And I think everything came out really well. The stripes really set everything off, both on the jersey and on the pants. And, to be honest, the helmet as well. I think that's what sets everything off, is the stripes across the board. Looks really good. The only downside to this one is, again, I wanted to keep the shoulder number the same. And that's why we have the C there. You just can't see it as well as everything else. But I think overall, this is a great home uniform. Now what we can do is go over to the default away uniform. This looks even better. Again, the stripes set everything off from top to bottom, green on the outside, gold on the inside. I love the gold numbers. Again, it's just a little different. You don't see that too often. But I've always liked the Stormtrooper look. Me being a Tennessee fan, I'm always used to that, and I've always enjoyed that. I think everything really pops. And again, there's that shoulder C that really sticks out as well. I like every bit of that. And here we have our alternate home uniform. This is the gold uniform, and all this looks just spot on. Really cool. You rarely see the full gold uniforms anywhere. And I think it popped pretty well, to be honest. The stripes, again, set everything off. I like that a whole lot. A nice, good alternate uniform. And now what we can do is check out the alternate away uniform. And this one looks pretty cool too. Just a little bit different. Adds a little more green than before. And again, I like the green face mask. Just something a little bit different. But everything just really pops here for sure. I like every bit of that. So all 4 uniforms really pop to me. Now, let's check out the midfield logo. It is what it is. It's okay. Again, you can do the natural field or you can do the artificial turf or the grassy turf. It's up to you however you want to do that. But it sticks out enough to know what it is. Thankfully, you have the gold outline around the C to make it stick out. But if you feel the need to use a white outline for that C, you can. I just don't think it'll look as good on the helmet because if you notice in the real helmet, it's a very thick C, not a thin one like this one is. All right, now let's check out one of my favorite parts is the end zone. And I think that came out quite well. I like the all black with the green and gold Charlotte. Just something different. You don't see these black end zones too often, but I think all of that really pops. And it should be the same on the other end if we go down here. And, yep, Charlotte looks really good. Now what we can do is check out the stadium itself. Not a whole lot to see here. It's pretty basic. But there is the south end zone with the scoreboard, the video screen, and then on the west side you got your one press box, and then you got your campus background on that end. Basic stands right there, and the same campus background over there. And that is it for the Charlotte 49ers. Hopefully you liked that one. As usual, I will leave a link in the description to where you can get these files if you run an emulator or if you got some way to transfer that over to your PlayStation 2. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.